The wonders of technology. Here I am on a little island in Thailand called Koh Phangan, and we're kind of live on a slightly bigger island, north, south, east. I have to do that, north, south, east, west, northwest of England, called Ireland.
Never eat shredded wheat. That's how I remember it.
I actually used to love shredded wheat. Joining us.
All right.
What do you eat now for breakfast?
I don't have breakfast. I go straight to lunch. Try not to. I'm never hungry. I haven't eaten breakfast since I was 14. I'm not hungry.
Wow.
You know.
Most important meal of the day. I have porridge, porridge, blueberries, fresh blueberries, cinnamon, and then I'm off to the gym. So
you're very healthy. I have never stepped. I've stepped inside a gym, I think, twice in my life. I just find it insanely boring. Sorry.
Actually, I did take a video of a guy. I mean, he's not. This was when I was back in England, but it happens here. The new going to the gym was the caption, and the guy, I did 3 sets of 10, like a whole muscle group, 3 exercises, 3 sets of 10. He was still sitting on his phone, hogging the machine, and I put, it's not a coffee shop, it's a gym. And anyway,
I'd be him going, how do you use this machine? I'm terrified I'll go into a gym and just get ensnared in all the contraptions and just be like, not for me.
Okay, it's good for you. Mind, body and soul. That would be a great name for a track. Talking about tracks, wow. Since 1997, you've put out a few frigging bangers, haven't you?
Yeah, we were very lucky to be at the right place at the right time, just as the whole scene was kind of taken off. We have Sonic Academy here, and we've been doing classic Balearic trance. So this whole month we've been looking at everything pre-Supersaw. So we've been looking at like Offshore, Paul van Dyk's Foreign Angel, all those sort of big Café Del Mar and stuff, and looking at what made those tracks really special. So it was just, we didn't know at the time, but what a time and a place to be.
But so you're looking at what made them special. Isn't melodies the key?
Yeah. Well, I did interviews with Thrill Seekers and Steve Jones, who you probably know from Lustral, Space Brothers, Ascension, all those, and Nick Chicane. They all said simplicity, just it wasn't overcomplicated. Thrill Seekers had worked in Sarm West with, what do you call, Buggles, big producer guy, Video Killed the Radio Star, Trevor Horn.
Oh, wow.
Trevor Horn said 3 notes and 3 ideas. So it was kind of, when you break it down, we broke down the riffs of Café Del Mar and Foreign Angel, of course El Nino. They're really, really simple, really, really sort of memorable, simple, and not overcomplicated. So yeah, melodies, it was all, and there was a couple of ideas as well, you know, the tracks it wasn't one idea and then rinse it. It was a couple of ideas in the track, and just, and no 2 tracks sounded the same. You know, El Nino and Foreign Angel didn't sound the same, and Café Del Mar sounded completely different again. So, you know, I think some of the new trance stuff at the moment can sound exactly the same.
I was coming to that. I mean, that was the great thing about trance, you know, all through the late 90s, early 2000s. Is it like, so when you play house now, I do a radio show, I upload it to SoundCloud, it gives me 35 genres of house music, and it's a nightmare as a house DJ now, as I don't really do trance, only classic.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, trance, I kind of did have a little identification. I had 2 little red stickers for trance, and then 1 yellow, 1 red for tech trance, because the tech trance you played the same. But yeah, all those other tunes, providing you kept in key, and don't forget we didn't have mixing key in those days. But I never key clashed. Well, I probably did once or twice.
Go ahead.
No, what were you using? What was your first sequencer back then?
Well, the very, very first sequencer I bought an Atari ST, and I got a copy of a very early Steinberg program. Steinberg was Cubase, called Pro 12.
Yeah.
So Pro 12 was the sort of baby version of Cubase. And if I bought the manual off this guy for a tenner back in 1991 or 2, he would give me the software free. It was piracy back then. So he photocopied the big thick manual. I bought it off him for a tenner. He gave me the manual, and then we were talking about this the other day in university. I went to university in Manchester, and I updated my Atari ST from half a meg to a meg, and it cost me 400 quid. Half a meg to a meg. It was just insane.
It's nothing.
It's insane.
Wow.
It was like, oh, this is amazing, and I could run Cubase, and so I started out on Cubase, and I was actually playing with Very Coarse, and they sent me out of Vienna at Saturday, and they're still on Cubase.
It's
about
really.
Yeah. So a lot of John O'Callaghan's on Cubase. I think Brian Kearney's on Cubase. I then about 2000 and 2001, I'd heard BT produced on Logic, so I decided I'm going to Logic. Surely this will make me sound like BT. It didn't, unfortunately, but you know.
I had BT on my radio show on Kiss, like, God, I don't know, 99, and I got people calling in, and one of the questions, and I will always remember this, one of the questions was, what sequencer? Ableton, Cubase, Logic, and Brian's answer was, Logic Audio, dude, all the way, only Logic Audio.
Bizarrely, he's now back to, so he does a lot of film scores, and he uses Cubase for the film scores. He still has Logic Audio. He still has Logic Audio on an old rig from about 1998. So he still has a really old computer that he can maintain and load up his old tracks. So if you follow him on social media, he's actually going through all his old synths and stuff at the moment, and all. He's kept every synth that he's ever bought. He never ever sold a synth, where I sold everything. So got rid of it all.
Funny enough, I had a combo with who did I have a combo with? I'm playing the age card. I can't remember, recently, and we were talking about outboard or soft. So you just answered the question. And when I moved here, I sold all my outboard and just soft. But now I just really can't be asked to produce, because I've had my career.
At our age, we're always soft, aren't we?
Yeah, speak for yourself. Depends on the tablets.
Maybe I need to go to the gym and stiffen up. That's what it is.
No, maybe you need to buy. Oh God, age thing. Little sachet Kamasagram. Never soft. So what are you using? What are you using now? Then
I'm still on Logic.
What version?
11. We're on 11.
Okay.
So, because with Sonic Academy, we always have to kind of do, the new version and stuff. Yeah. The other guys here are on Ableton. I know a good few people moving to Bitwig and hear lots of big things about Bitwig.
What?
Yeah, Bitwig's become a really, really big player. In the last 18 months, 2 years.
Never heard of it.
And look, Bitwig it's actually lots of ex-Ableton designer programmers.
Right.
Left about 10 years ago, left Ableton and started their own company. And Protoculture and all those guys are on Bitwig, so it's big. But I'm on Logic, but I am finding definitely less and less people on Logic. A lot of people it kind of got left behind a little bit.
Right. I was on I learned on Logic. I had a sexy that G5 with the big handles, and I always used to use an engineer, Helen, and she was actually always on Cubase. And then 2004 came along, and I thought, you know what, I've got to do this myself. So I bought the G5, and obviously on a Mac it was Logic, and then I bought it here, and then I lost my visual monitors. It was pre-Intel, and I slapped it all the way to Bangkok, and they said, yeah, we can fix, and put the serial number in, and they couldn't fix it. So then I bought a MacBook Pro because I wanted to stay on Logic, and then I got my villa robbed and the MacBook Pro went. So I thought, so I just bought a really good PC and then Ableton, but I did prefer Logic.
Graham, the other thing I say, see the new Macs nowadays, the M chip Macs are just phenomenal. We were talking about it the other day. I've got the really basic MacBook Air, which I think was about 700 quid.
Yeah.
And I can run full Logic sessions on it, and the thing doesn't even like blink an eye. I've got a big studio Mac here that'll last me 10 years, and I've never crapped it out with so many plugins. Like, I can throw as many plugins as I can, and it just handles it. So the new Macs are they're insane. They're really, really brilliant.
So how do you see? Because I'm not living in England. I'm not really in the trance scene. I have a problem playing classics. I enjoy my classic trance because I always try and pick the unobvious ones and mix them up. How do you see? I mean, how's this year been for you? How do you see the trance scene, and what are you doing to help it evolve instead of dying? Because I'm hearing some.
Well, it depends how you look. I mean, how I'm helping it is, again, go back to Sonic Academy. We're teaching, we're getting young producers in, showing you how to make sort of latest tech house, techno, trance. We've hundreds of trance. Can
you stop? Sorry to interrupt. Can you stop teaching them how to make tech trance? Maybe deep house, progressive, melodic techno.
Well, my first love genuinely is progressive house. Now, not what the feckin' Beatport calls progressive house. That shit name state.
I was an hour on it today, looking for new music, and then I was an hour on their deep house, and it's shit.
It's Beatport.
I actually found better stuff on my promos, and you know what that's like.
Yeah.
One in 100.
Like, I'm really into Guy J and Guy Monsoor and all that sort of really chuggy, slow stuff. Trance, we have our synths and stuff. So our synth Anna, we're making trance preset for that. So we're always making the big super saws. We're always making the big pads. We have done a pack harking back to the 1990s. So you'll have all the Cafe Del Mar sounds in there. You'll have El Nino sounds in there. The other guy that I work with is Coast to Coast, Phil. So he designs all the synths. He's the big plug-in head. Phil from Coast to Coast, if you remember, big trance classic called Home.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So we're doing that. So for us personally, we're busy, but it's classics. That's what we're doing, and I love it. I absolutely love it. There's no pressure. I'm not really, I'm listening to new stuff, sort of guys I would kind of appreciate. I think Brian Kearney's kind of moving the sound on a little bit. That sort of RB, big, sawtooth RB trance. John O'Callaghan still, doing some good vocally stuff. But other than that, trance needs to move on. It's stuck. For the last 10 years, it's just stuck in this sort of loop. Same drums, same sounds, and it's like, lads...
Same format.
The beauty about it was, in 1998, 97, every track sounded different. Like I said earlier on, it was like Cafe Del Mar, Offshore, Paul Van Dyke. It was all different. It was all different.
And then Tiesto came along with Traffic and kind of, all right, to my understanding, he never engineered himself then. Whether he still does or not, I don't know. Whether he does now or not, I don't know. But all that tech trance, the Traffic and Mara Picotto, it gave it a new edge, but it still fitted into our scene. But now, now it's still, I mean, it's funny you mentioned Guy J and people like that. So I'm obviously USB, we're all USB, I use Recordbot, and those breakdowns were 3 minutes long, and literally you had 2 minutes after, you had 2 minutes of power, 3 minutes of 2 minutes of power, 2 minutes later, So I edit all the breakdowns down by half. I want 30 seconds. I want a minute if it's meaningful. 30 seconds if it isn't.
Are you talking about Guy J tracks here now? So you're editing there?
Generally music. Especially with new trance. What I'm hearing, I'm still hearing long breakdowns.
Yeah, but they're doing extended mixes, Graham, of 4.5 minutes. It's just I look back at some of my tracks. There's tracks I've done are 11.5 minutes long.
I know.
Do you know, when I'm doing trance classics, I can put on one of those records, go to the toilet, maybe go to the bar, order a drink, maybe have some food, sampler back to the DJ, and it's still playing. So it's like,
I mean, I'm going to put my hand up because we are getting OLDER. I never say the word. Funny enough, yesterday I did a 3-hour set at Sunset, Grasshopper, and I never went to pee once, but even at Coco, in my hour set at the last Peach, I went 3 times, and I'm sure everyone thought I was going to do a cheeky one, but I don't do it anymore.
Yeah. No, I get. Yeah, no, it is hard. You have to, before you go on, you have to look at your watch and go, right, PP time, because I might not make it through the next hour and a half here.
I do 2 PP times, 10 minutes before and 1 minute before. So has it been a good summer for you? Been a good year?
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's been really brilliant. We were in likes of Wrong last weekend, which was a really brilliant gig. Worthing the weekend before.
There's a contrast.
I know Manchester to Worthing. Summer-wise, we've done lots of festivals, but it's all been, and they've all been brilliant gigs. Norwich a couple of weeks ago. I'm in Dublin next Friday, and then we're Southampton. A lot of South Coast for the. Right. Bizarrely, a lot of sort of Worthing, Southampton. This is the second time, you know. So, and then of course we're doing Wrong in Malta again this year. So yeah, it's been a really next year 2026. So it's been a busy few months, and loving it. Really enjoying it.
Good. And blimey, I've actually forgotten what I was going to say. And that never happened. I've
sidetracked you here.
Oh yeah. So sets. Are you mixing new stuff in with your stuff, or
we're doing. Sometimes if it's a producer set, it'll be a whole hour of Agnelli and Nelson stuff. Sometimes I'm doing sort of every third record, a couple of Agnelli and Nelson, then maybe like a Cafe Del Mar, or something big.
Are you playing new stuff?
No interest in new stuff. No, all classics. I
really?
love it. Yep. And I'm unapologetic. Yeah, unapologetic.
Okay. All right. So, and of course, now because Robert's not so well these days, you're doing.
Good news there. Robbie's coming back. So he's getting back to health, and his first date is in December 28th. So he's back, and he's stupidly doing a vinyl set. Do you do vinyl sets?
I did a vinyl set up in Chiang Mai, which is up in the north of Thailand, in January, and I sold 30,000 records when I moved here. I bought 40, and then there's this wanker on the island who has them, and he will not give it back to me because he said they were given to him by somebody else, but he knows them anyway. I've got 2. The guy bought 4 crates. He on the flight from England, and the day before, I'm just pulling out the tunes and trying to remember what the BPMs were, because on the 1210s, +8 -8 was 1 BPM, and that's kind of how. Yeah. And but I've got 2 vinyl sets booked for next year, but I'm going to have to go over and borrow all the records that I want to use.
Do you not think they're horrific to use the decks again?
Honestly, it took me 10 minutes. 15 minutes, because the needle kept jumping, because before we always used to take our own styluses, right, and cartridges and put them in, but I didn't. None of the records I was really familiar with. One of them was, I've got to play this. It was an old Solomon track from 2008. I thought, wow, I don't remember that. But when I do these vinyl sets in April, fun enough, on the south coast in Bournemouth, actually.
There you go.
Well, I'm doing one standalone, and then we're doing a Peach one, because Adele, our Peach Queen, she loves vinyl, and Chris loves vinyl. Providing I know the BPM, because my record boxes were all in BPM order. So, hey, it's where we come from, bro.
It is. But so our agent was phoning me going, do you want to do vinyl? And I kept saying, no, don't get the point. Those on the dance floor, it makes little difference. Now, I then talked to Ferry, who's done some vinyls, and I said, Ferry, I was really struggling with the mixes were a bit loose and stuff, and it was like, we're so used to now hearing really tight mixes. And he went, Chris, that's what the dance floor loved. When I played it, it was, you could hear the push, you could hear the pull, you could hear the fight, trying to get the mix. And he said, so you just have to get over that whole, look, it will not be bang on the way the CDJs are. It is a bit loose, and you will be pushing it, and you might push it the wrong way, and it might go out and stuff. He said, but he said, when I made mistakes, that's when I got big cheers. He said, look, you will enjoy it. And I was just like, it just seems so stressful.
Well, I wish you luck with that, but of course, also don't forget that, like, now I'm on Record Box. When I first went on Record Box, importing my original vinyl, say it was For an Angel 138. You put it into Record Box, or you put it into Ableton rather, and it's 137.35. So 30 years ago, we're talking that technology, and now the technology is so perfect. But nothing was it was almost, you have a live drummer. You know, you try and mix the old soul tunes. They were all, you know, James Hamilton used to write reviews, and a track was 113, 116. He'd BPM like every minute of a track, and it was 113, 116, 114. You know, and it's
the deck is a mechanical device, so it will slightly speed up and slightly slow down at different points. So it's like, so I do maybe need to get familiar with that mixing again, where it is a bit loose and it is a bit flabby, and it is what it is, and sort of get over the I find I got frustrated going, this isn't tight, and I just maybe need to retrain the brain going, look, it's not going to be tight, just go with it, just enjoy it.
Chill, enjoy it, have some fun. So you're gonna have fun with us at Peach and Strawberry Sundae.
Look, Pizza.
You loved having you last time.
It was just one of the most incredible gigs. I'll never ever forget. About 3:30, it was 30 degrees outside. If you remember, it was roasting.
Yes.
I had been mooching about London all morning, and I got the train up to.
Sorry about the hotel, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, it was really, 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 really bad. It was horrendous.
We've got you a much better one this time.
So I went up, and it was about 3:30 in the afternoon, and I remember walking in and met you outside, and you were hyper and sweat coming down, and just like, I need to cool off. And I walked in, and it was like one of those, you know, it was like the films from the 1990s, Human Trafficking. The doors just opened, and at 3:30 in the afternoon, the place just going insane. The lasers, and I just looked around and went, holy shit, and it was genuinely mind blowing, and I was just stood at the side of the stage just going, this is something special, this is, you know. And we talked about, you'd booked us 23 years earlier, it was Camden Palace, you know, in Camden Palace, and to be back in that beautiful venue again, isn't it something else? Yeah. But really, really, really excited to be playing Fabric. I've never played Fabric before.
Oh, well, you're going to love it. We did our first link with Strawberry Sundae last year. It was pretty much almost a sellout. Both the rooms were going off. They wanted pumping. And of course, the Peach crowd, they just love everybody. The Strawberry Sundae crowd love everybody. So it's going to be this in different rooms, different feel, but the atmosphere is going to be electric. And
do you think even more electric than last time?
It's yes, because you know we had a brilliant lineup last time. This time we've added Slipmatt to the rave cave, so we're doing a proper so we've got you and BK are heading up the Peach area, and I got to quickly look because I can't remember who's in the other area. I've just got to open.
Darren Pierce?
No, he's playing for us. Peach and Strawberry, Fabric, open up the flyer.
Here's something. Shades of Rhythm.
Oh, Shades and John Please Wimmin. My
very first gig as a producer back in about 1993. I used to make jungle back then, and we did a live PA in Plymouth, again South Coast. In 1993, Shades of Rhythm with a big headline act. We were playing with Colin Faber, Colin Dale, MCGQ.
Techno boys, wow.
So I haven't seen these guys in nearly 30. This is over 30 years. You know, wow. So it's like I'm really excited to see Shades of Rhythm again. Like that's That's going back to the very start.
We'll make sure that we get you access to their green rooms. I think the green room in both the rooms are different, but anyway.
Okay.
So you've got a lovely hotel. Just keep us updated with your flights and the trains, because all the airports, it's so much easier to get a train into London than us.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I can't wait to see you again.
Graham, listen, thank you. So I'm glad it hasn't been 23 years since the last game. You know, it's been like I must have done a decent enough job here 18 months ago to be back, and I'm really thrilled.
A lot, absolutely. That you got incredible big ups from the Peachy Ravers.
Brilliant.
Just make sure you play "Holding On to Nothing," the club vocal mix, because you sent me that, because I forgot how amazing that tune was.
I will. So the last half hour is always going to be Agnelli and Nelson, El Nino, Holding On to Nothing, Big Sky, Every Day, Embrace, maybe something like that. I don't know. But listen, thank you to the Peachy Ravers. They're absolutely amazing group, and you've got something special going on there.
Thank you very much. Chris, going to wish you a lovely day. Thank you for talking to us.
Graham, thank you so much, and I'm super excited.
And we'll see you in 6 weeks from now.
6 weeks. All right. Cheers. Thank you, Graham.
Thanks, Chris.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Right,
Bye-bye. Bye.